Alright guys, I just want to show you a few things. I'm cutting down on some canola. Still got the Ideal 9, honeybee 50 foot, yada yada yada. Open up my shield. Okay, first thing I want to show you is my toolbox. Right there. So it's got really good depth. You can put a bucket in there. We got honeybee belts, we got some extra shields, a grease gun, magnetic light, which is 12 volt. There's actually quite a few 12 volt plugs scattered on this combine, which actually makes it pretty handy. It still has its work lights, like every other combine, but in case you're working in the back of the combine or you're working somewhere, you can stick it somewhere. Basically, I really use that to help unplug my combine at night. It's a little dusty in here, true, but actually it seals up not bad. This is typically where your air hose would go, but I actually have my air hose, I'll show you, mounted on my combine. There's air chucks on the combine as well. I think there's 3 of them, I can't remember. Okay, you got your wreath thrasher in here. To be honest guys, this isn't much of a wreath thrasher, right? This isn't like the John Deere or, it's not a big wreath thrasher. It's like one thing that spins around in there, just one. And it's still got the ribs on the ear. Okay, your concaves are in there. You got really good access right here, you'll be able to see. So, pro is this door is super light, okay? It's like really easy to take in and take off. A con is the door is super light and it flexes too much and we get some canola loss here, as you can see. It comes out of this bottom seal. So the good news is that's all going to be redesigned even for these combines as of next year, because they've made a whole new door. I think it's going to be a little thicker steel, maybe have some stiffeners in it, maybe have another latch in it. I do know that there is a whole redesign coming for that door, which is good because I don't like to see losses. So all it is just this folds over, this folds over. I'll pull it off. I've been combining with it. That way I don't hide anything from you guys. One hand here, grab the door. Oh, door right here. All right, we'll clean up all this. Ah, whoo! Yummy. Ah, whoo. Why didn't I work with the wind a little bit on this? That would have been smart, Mike. Okay, so all the pans are plastic. All plastic pans on these combines. All right, the concaves, as you can see, really awesome access. You got your step right there, same access as the other side. You don't have to get in behind a tire. Just these 2 bolts, and they slide in. All right, so on the cereals, we were running small wire concaves with filler plates. Then and also the lentils, except no filler plates. And then when we went to chickpeas, we had to put 3 large wires in. Left the small one up front. As you can see, got a bit of a dent. I'm a little worried about the concaves. I think they're maybe made a little bit on the lighter side. But anyway, they're pretty easy to put in. Works pretty good. See, these aren't knuckle rotors, you guys. These aren't a knuckle rotor. Bar type rotor. So we were worried about this coming out of chickpeas into canola. We're like, oh man, I'll bet you we won't be able to clean it up very good. Actually, not true. We can clean it up just as good with these wide bars as we can with the loaner combine, who has 4 of these small wires in. In fact, we have a way less rotor loss. Not that we have a lot of rotor loss, but we have less rotor loss with these versus the small wire on the other one. The small wire on the other one will give you maybe 3-4 bars. This one you can barely even register any rotor loss, and we have the sensitivity on all the combines to 100%, high as it'll go. Okay, I'm gonna pause this thing, put my door back on. It's kind of a two-hand job here. Okay, I'm gonna pause it. Okay, I got it back on. Here's the wreath thrasher. See, it's just one. Obviously it must work because it's ground up a bit, but I thought it'd be a little heavier wreath thrasher than that. Basically it's a little lighter than what I thought, but it obviously does the job. Okay, I'm gonna have, apparently, hold on. Some of this stuff's a 2-hand job. Okay. That's back on. You also got a door back under here in case you plug it and you need to pop this one off. And then get to that. Unlatch this. And the whole door swings away as well as your toolbox. Now, if you do plug it, latch this back on. plug it, you go around over here. Everyone's probably wondering what I'm doing. You get down under here. You see these over-centering latches? Well, this is for your clean grain. This one up here is for your tailings. There's a trough that goes all the way underneath. It'll open up that whole length, that whole width of that trough for your clean grain. Also the same for your tailings here. So you can easily clean it out in case you plug it. Okay. Oh, to change your rotor speed, you go up in here. Another over-centering latch. Pop that down, goes the turtle. Pop it back up, goes the rabbit. That simple. I really like that. I'll never use all this. That's the variable header speed drive. I think you can put out like 250, 270 horsepower or something with that, I think. Could be wrong. That's for corn heads. I think if my honeybee needed that much power, I'd probably wrap it up around my feeder house. Okay. To open up the chopper, you go right here. Little switch. Oh, wrong way. Now, this I've opened up a time or two in my day. Derpy, 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 derpy. I bet you I get a grain cart guy coming over here. He's probably thinking to himself, oh man, Mike plugged this chopper? Okay, I'll come and help him. That's so awesome they are. Always willing to help. Okay. So this thing runs on slide. It runs on, I'll show you. See this rails? Runs on these rails. Haven't had any issue with that. But, whew, if you plug all that in there, then the chopper can't actually slide its way back. Hence a problem. That's a big problem. I'll look forward to an update on that. Now in here, you got to that back of your rotor. There is no beater. There is no rear beater on this, all right? It just slings it down at your chopper. And I know what you're thinking. They're like, Mike, why are some of those bent? Well, I can tell you why they're bent. They're supposed to be straight like that. But if you plug your rotor up tight enough, you'll actually bend those over. And I actually was a little concerned about that. I brought that up with some of the engineers. They're like, well, Mike, it's designed to bend. It's better to bend that than it is to bend your bracket or rip your bracket off your rotor. All right, fair enough. What do I know? So, I know what you're also thinking, Mike, bend those back, you won't plug up your rotor or your chopper. No, it doesn't matter. I can straighten that up and still plug it, or I can keep them folded and still plug it. It has no bearing on it whatsoever. There is no one better than the other, so I don't waste my time putting a crescent wrench on them and bending them back. Okay? Now, your spreaders. You can move these hydraulically from your cab, so you can kick these out to spit your chaff out right behind your back tire, or you can keep them like this to spit into your chopper for better spread. Completely up to you. So you can come over here, pop this pin, throw that on the ground, grab that, pull it off, give it a sling, it'll kick right out of the way. Clean this out of here. I'll show you something. Pop this little pin, put it in your pocket, you don't lose it. Rotate it. Look at the size of that. That's a Cat 5 pin. So in this case you get stuck, you put your loop in there, lock it in. Look at that. I could pull a freaking scraper with this thing. Not this flimsy little thing, but that's awesome. Good job, Aco. I'll probably rip my combine half before I do any damage on the back of here. I really like that. Now I can't find my pin that I put in my pocket. Okay, here it is. All right, then grab this. Put it up to here. Push it up. Grab your pin. Grab this pin. Hurry up, Mike. There. Done. I really like that. See, there's an air chuck there. We need dryers for these things because this can keep some water. So I think we're supposed to be getting some dryers coming. Roll your chopper back. Now when I'm talking about plugging, guys, it's not like I'm plugging up every hour out here. Sometimes I'll plug 3 times a day. Another time I'll go 3 days without plugging. There is no rhyme or reason. It doesn't matter whether I'm cutting rank green straw or crispy dry straw on top of a hill. There is no rhyme or reason to it. And it's only my combine. All the other combines are fine. Yes, we did have lots of chopper plugging issues, but once we vented that chopper in the back, it's been pretty good. So I don't understand why it's just mine. Now, I did have an engineer riding with me for a while. Awesome guy by the name of Eric. He stuck a bunch of GoPros in the back, and then he ran alongside catching footage. Now, we were intentionally trying to plug it. It took like a day before we could actually intentionally try and plug it. We plugged it, he got it on video. Now I just wait for some cool things that they have figured out and found out, and hopefully find the cause of that. I'm not too worried about it. I know we'll find it. All right, on to the header. I'll show you something with the header. Show you something with the header. Ugh. Whew. This header and feeder house on the combine lift ridiculously high. That's my view. Here's my steering wheel. That's what I see. So when you're going down the road and your headlights are under here, it actually shines right there and blinds you. You can't see nothing. It's pitch black out there. Yes, you have floods up here, but they don't see nothing. So I think they're coming out with an update to put some spots on these mirrors to shine out. It's going to be tight. It might almost hit the reel there. Either that or I'm just going to put a 60-inch light bar on the top and just be done with it. But yeah, you can't see nothing when you're moving at night. Really good in the field, but you still can't even see quite way out there even in the field because these lights hit your header. Whew, I'm running out of wind here, you guys. You guys are playing me out. I'm going to have to start working out. Okay, I'll show you my lateral movement. Really impressive lateral movement. Almost hits the ground out there. You see that? Almost hit the ground. You could go over a pickup truck on this side. I'll show you. Look at this. My hand is fully extended. I'm a foot away. I have to jump to touch it. Even on my tippy toes, I cannot touch it. It's about 6-inch clearance out there. I'll show you guys. I'll back up here. Look at that. That's awesome, you guys. I'm serious. I could go over a pickup truck. Now, you put this combine into a bit of a ditch, so that way the header can go down, the combine can tip. You can almost go over a semi. All right, let's talk about a con. See this drag rod? Runs your sensors? Pretty flimsy. Guess what? That's the lowest point of contact on your header. How do I know? Because we've already ripped one off. So if you're trying to clear your pickup truck over there, you're not sure if you're gonna quite clear, you better be awfully careful because it doesn't take much of a tap to break that rod off. I'd like to see some tubing, square tubing, something to protect this a little bit more solid. I'm not saying you're gotta be like a John Deere and aim for the fence posts, but if you're just creeping past one, you're not sure if you can quite clear it, I'm a little worried about it. Is that a dent? Do I have a dent on that? Anyway, I really like the header, but I'm quite worried about that drag rod. I'd like to get that thing protected somehow. We gotta get combining. So it's been kind of drizzling and spitting on us here. The auger is super long. You don't know how long the auger is until you hop on a John Deere, and then you see that short little stubby auger, and you're like, holy cow, how do we do anything with this?
Boy, there's a lot of material to go through in these bottoms.
Okay, I gotta shut this off. Okay, so we're gonna rotate this thing back. Put it down. Okay, so you have your tilt with your combine. Oh, maybe I should pick it up. See? You have quite a bit of tilt on this thing. That's just on the combine, okay? That's quite a bit. And then you go over here, flip this, so it's a splitter valve. And then there's a hydraulic cylinder right there, which is underneath that chaff. Watch. You have even more. And yet you put it down and you can still see your cutter bar. So I like that. All right, I'm gonna put that back so that way we can actually get combine in here. I like to run this one all the way up. Okay. So your header's got about 100 pounds pressure. If you want to switch to flex, pop that thing over, dump your air out, boom, you're ready to go. Otherwise, you gotta turn the air compressor on, little blue light comes on so that way it reminds you. At 115 pounds, it would dump its relief valve. It won't dump the whole header, but it will hit a relief valve. Okay, we gotta get cutting. This thing does have full rotor reverse, including chopper, I do believe, and tailings and clean grain and front beater and the whole works. Good job, Aco. That's awesome. Holy cow, we're already 16 minutes in. Excuse me. This thing cuts me off much after 19, so we gotta be quick. Here we go. Park brake off. We gotta hurry up. So this crop, guys, has been running about 45. You can't really go off of this thing. I don't have it calibrated. It's like a Borgo drill. I've only done it one time. Okay, the more times you do it, the better it is. It is not hard. You just go into your monitor, you hit isobus over here, and you just have to weigh it out. It's not really hard to do. I just haven't really done it. The header's been feeding really good in this tough canola, actually just in the canola in general. I've never plugged my feeder house. I'm typically around 2.5 to 3 mile an hour. Yeah, you can't go off that. And it's just been playing all day long. Two and a half, 3 mile an hour, that's very comfortable speed for me. I think the other guys might be pushing a little bit more than that, but you gotta remember, I've actually been digging in the back of my combine, so I'm being a little bit more careful. So, on your rotor loss is right here, sieve loss, that's about as much as they're getting. Its sensitivity is at 100%. We haven't dropped pans as of yet, nope. We just have not had time to get the bushel plus pans out here. Sorry guys, I was hoping to have that done by now. Grumbling a little bit in this green straw. Just going to my stats here. So I've been burning about 1.1 gallons. That's as high as I've ever seen it. Typically I'm about 0.7 to 1.1. And obviously it depends on what kind of crop you are in and how hard you're pushing it. And I just redid this about 15 acres ago. My average is 17.1 gallons an hour. And that's the highest I've seen it. Typically, or 17 I guess. Oh, okay, it's coming down. Apparently it's coming down. Typically it's around that 14, 15. Yesterday I do believe it was 13.8 over the course of the whole day. Ooh, hear that? It likes it. It likes it. Okay guys, I gotta pause this thing. Actually, holy crap, it's almost done. I gotta let you go. So I'm just gonna stop here. Thanks guys for subbing. I set up my Patreon account. Check it out if you want to. My girlfriend, of course, she was my first one, and she's kind of a tough sell. She told me I either have to perform on that or she's out. I don't get any special treatment. So thank you for Alex from Australia, and I look forward to talking to you guys later. Later.